My name is Dr. Shini Somara. I'm a mechanical engineer originally, but now I'm a broadcaster of various different media things, from television to podcasting, books, you name it, I do it because I love communicating science, technology and engineering. Today with Driven by Us has just been so inspiring. I came in with absolutely no expectations and I've just been pleasantly surprised. The conversations I've had have been really honest, really heartfelt, very transparent. And it's just so like, when you hear people just being real, it's a chance to just go, I'm in a safe place where I can truly be myself and share with others who get it. What I love most about my work is meeting engineers who inspire me, completely inspire me. Because I think engineering is a constantly adapting, evolving industry. And so I get to meet people who are doing things on the real cutting edge. The work I was doing in engineering was very cutting edge at the time, but it's fantastic to see future engineers coming through and technology developing. And I just love the way human beings want to advance and evolve through technology. So that's what I love most about my job, and being able to capture that, whether that's on film or in books, and share it with people. I think my work's important because one of the things we don't get to see very often is what engineers do. And as a mechanical engineer, I got to see my dad, who's an engineer, doing his engineering, and it really inspired me to go into the same profession. Not everyone has that luxury to be able to get a real insight into engineering. So what I love about my job is being able to provide that. And the interesting project that I'm working on at the moment is promoting my book, Engineers Making a Difference. There's 46 amazing engineers in this book. So many incredible engineers that didn't get in the book. But I'm now doing a lot of social media around the engineers who are in the book, not in the book. And the whole intention of writing this was to really showcase what engineering is about, because we hear, I'm a mechanical engineer, I'm a civil engineer, structural engineer. What is that? Not many people know. And engineering isn't just hard hats and fluorescent jackets and greasy overalls. Engineering is so much more than that, and I've made it my mission to really show people. The tip I would give myself is be courageous, be bold, stop questioning yourself, stop self-doubting. You may not know everything because you're younger, but that's perfectly human. We all have to start somewhere, and we're not going to be perfect from the beginning. So I guess the overall tip would be to allow yourself to learn and to grow, make mistakes, and don't beat yourself down for any of those things, because it's part of growing and developing and becoming better. I would say that my role has evolved from being in deep research, where I was looking at computational fluid dynamics. My PhD was all about how air flows within buildings. And that was a long time ago now. But recently, my research has been useful for understanding how COVID is transported around buildings. So everything that I was studying and working on back in my deep engineering days still does have some effect today. But I would say that what I do in engineering today is very much about communication. I feel like I'm the bridge between what engineers do in deep research and the public, who have often no clue. And I'm really keen on having an understanding, because I think engineering has a real PR problem. Many people don't know what engineers do, they don't know what engineering is about, and as a result, we're not getting enough people into engineering, and we have a real skills gap. And that breaks my heart, because I think engineering is so cool, so exciting, so trailblazing. And if more people knew that, they'd absolutely want to be in the industry. And we really need diversity as well. So I'm trying to do all of this communication so that we can increase diversity in engineering. You know, the truth of the matter is that there were very few female engineers when I was studying. That's an inspiration in itself, because the fact that there was such a lack of female engineers at the time is exactly what inspired me to do what I do today. I really wanted to increase those numbers. I really wanted to increase diversity in engineering, because when I was studying, they were not even counting how many of us existed. So it felt like we didn't count because there were no statistics. And so I think I've been inspired by a lack of females in engineering. I can give you a bunch of names of women who inspire me today. And that's such a great thing, because times have changed. But when I was at that stage of being inspired, there was no one. And I'm so thankful that that's not the case today. The goal of all of my work in communicating engineering has been to try and encourage more women into engineering. Like, that has been one of my major objectives. It's weaved into everything I do. So, you know, I wrote this book, which is like 50% women, 50% men. There's actually one transgender person in there. And this is a major part of my work, but, you know, this is my 7th book. There are 6 before that really try to encourage this idea of non-stereotypical engineers. So my first 4 books, one of them was called An Engineer Like Me. It's a little brown girl who goes about her daily life looking at all the engineering around her. Turns out her grandmother was an engineer. So it's so deeply baked into what I do that I can't tell you one project that hasn't involved trying to inspire more women into engineering. And yesterday was International Women in Engineering Day. And I went to a breakfast. It was full of incredible women in engineering. And one of the ladies on the panel that I was listening to said my name as someone who has inspired her. And it really, really touched me, because I speak to so many women about engineering. And when you actually hear back that someone remembered you, like years after the fact, it's like it makes it all worthwhile. And I get that a lot with Crash Course Physics, because I'm the host of Crash Course Physics. It's about 50 episodes where if you watched all 50 of them, you could take your physics A level. It's had something like 54 million views collectively over those episodes. And I really hope that has inspired more women into STEM, particularly physics, because the numbers are really low in physics for females taking that subject. So I just hope that my work is doing something, because it's an absolute intention to inspire women, but I very rarely know whether I'm having an effect. I just do this blindly, hoping that I do. Fingers crossed. From what I see today, Driven by Us is really going to allow women to speak up, because today has been about digging deep within ourselves and actually speaking our truths. You know, there's been a lot of hard questions asked, like, what are your needs? What do you find isn't working? What would you like to see more of? How do you feel about certain things? Like, these are quite intimate questions. And so I think by asking these questions, because we don't often get a chance to have these conversations, you're actually training women, people, to be open about what it is that we need as people of colour. Diverse groups, you know, because normally we are trained to not speak about these issues. So if there's one thing that I leave today feeling, it's that there's a place that's safe where we can have these very raw conversations, and that is so valuable.